Hi, Islamic Dad here, doing a video on what I refer to as the change or the tipping point. And within every cycle of a relationship with a narcissist, there's a love bombing phase, sometimes called the honeymoon. There is a peak and a change where suddenly things have flipped completely the other way around. A slow devalue, and then finally the discard or the end of the relationship one way or another. And one of the things that I did touch on in an earlier video is that at least in my own experience and from what I've read and heard from others, we talk about like these different quirks that narcissists have, and basically like all narcissists. I mean, it's just spooky. And in addition to some of these like quirks and behaviors, they have sometimes like these, almost like superpowers, these very specific sixth senses where they're able to perceive things that honestly normal people don't. And one of the things that they perceive is when, during a relationship, things change. So, let's say, I meet my, now ex-girlfriend. We strike up a conversation. We find we have some commonalities, some shared interests. We go out on a first date and we find each other, charming and physically attractive and, sexy. And our, conversation isn't forced or unnatural or anything. And things are flowing pretty well. And at that point, both of us start that initial attraction to the other person. At that point, I'm still, operating as a normal person going along. But the narcissist basically goes all in. And at that point, they will very quickly, be the first one to say, I love you in the relationship. That was my experience. And it sounds like that's the experience a lot of people have with narcissists. Start, the future faking very early, talking about, marriage, what it would be like to live together, these type of things. And basically you have this whirlwind romance, and it's magical. That's one of the things that makes these narcissistic relationships so painful, is that the honeymoon period, the love bombing, is amazing. If you have not experienced it, you don't know. And there's no amount of words can convey what it's like to be someone who is your soulmate, who you feel the universe created the two of you for each other. That is the intensity of the relationship at that point. And so, I'm experiencing this, and, my head is spinning, my heart is pounding, my mind is racing. I can't believe that I've met this person. This is amazing. Our dates and our experiences are becoming more and more intense. We're connecting on a deeper, emotional level, sharing all these special moments with each other. And it goes, for weeks, for months, and it goes on and on. And then for me, I reached a point where I felt comfortable in the relationship. It was no longer simply, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. This is amazing. Whereas all just, caught up in, kind of like this infatuation. I reached that point where I was like, oh my God, this is real. This is real. She is real. This relationship is actually happening, and I'm part of it, and I accept that. I now look at us as being in this relationship, and this relationship moving forward. And it is, beyond just like a simple acknowledgement. It's an acceptance of, your partner, of the relationship, that, that it's no longer just simply something special. It is something that you can actually like hold on to, touch, and understand, okay, it's here today, it's going to be here tomorrow, it's going to be here next week. This is wonderful, but I'm now comfortable in this place. Without saying a single word, the narcissist knows when this happens. It is like they have this sixth sense, and they can just, they could be 50 miles away, and they're just like, okay, that just happened. I don't know. That's a narcissist superpower. They just innately know the very instant that you become comfortable with the relationship, when you accept them, accept the relationship, and finally let yourself relax and feel safe and secure in that relationship. That's like the change. And, a very interesting perspective that I, came across on this is that while you're going through the love bombing phase, the narcissist is mirroring you. They're literally taking on your likes, your dislikes, your personality, your mannerism, just, everything, one for one. And that's why it's so magical. You're like, oh my gosh, it's like the universe made this person for me. Yeah, they did. Unfortunately, it's a narcissist. And, as that's going, and again, people can disagree with me. I don't care. That's too bad. The narcissist is in love with you. The narcissist is feeling the same infatuation that you are. And they are just, getting all the endorphins, all the, the dopamine, and, just, feeling like they are, surfing on supply, so to speak. They are just getting the maximum amount of supply that they've, always wanted. And then what happens is that when you reach that point where, the partner, realizes that they can feel safe and secure, the narcissist is not capable of feeling safe and secure and comfortable. They can either feel the rush, the high of infatuation, and the moment that ends, you feeling comfortable, safe and secure, that makes them feel rejected. I mean, it's an interesting idea or perspective on things. And, I don't know if I agree 100%, but I'm certainly going to think about it and, mull it around in my head. But it's an interesting idea that to the narcissist, you simply being comfortable instead of infatuated is the same as abandonment. That basically you're no longer giving them the good stuff. You used to be giving them grade A heroin, and now you've moved them on to a regimen of methadone. And the narcissist hates you for that. They want the good stuff back. They want to be flooded with endorphins and dopamine and just be riding that high of infatuation. And if they don't feel that, they feel like you betrayed them. And that is the beginning of the end. And they, that anger and resentment that they're feeling internally will slowly come out in the relationship and they will sabotage it and devalue you. And, I wanted to do this video just because, to me, again, it's one of those things that I don't think it's really addressed or considered that much, is just kind of that moment in time, that tipping point where, one day you might be full of infatuation and the narcissist is, right there with you feeling infatuation. And then you could, it's like you could be 50 miles away and you feel, okay, I'm going to relax. I'm going to be comfortable. I feel safe and secure in this relationship. And somehow the narcissist knows. Again, you two could be 50 miles away and somehow the narcissist knows. And from that moment on, the days of the relationship are numbered, and the narcissist will slowly whittle them away. But it's also interesting to me that the narcissist, as far as like a model of analyzing their behavior traits and motivations, matches so well with addiction at that point. And that if you're looking at, the narcissist as addicted to supply and basically acting and behaving like an addict, that this model of, infatuation and then betrayal and resentment fits right with it. I mean, it's like, okay, this drug addict is no longer getting the grade A good stuff, and now they're just they're going to hate you for it forever. And so, I just thought that this would be an interesting video to make, and I would be interested to hear if anyone has had similar experiences where somehow the narcissist just knew instinctually that you had become comfortable and accepting with the relationship, and that was basically, starting the countdown for the end of the relationship. So hopefully this has been a helpful video. Thanks.